Hi friends!
This is the Bluetii. It is our backup unit. It comes with input for solar and with charging it from AC, the wall. The wall charger is 500 watts per hour and the solar is 12 to 30 volt, maximum 8.2 amps. Since it's our backup, we usually keep it at around 80%. So I'm just gonna, you can see here it's starting up. It is at 81%. So for outputs, you can use this one, which is a 12 volt, 10 amp, or you can use this one, 12 volt, 25 amps. Right here, and it needs a special adapter to connect to it. And this 12 volt, 25 amp is what we use to power our grid, our 12 volt grid that runs throughout the van. The wall charger is this one here, and it will connect, and it connects through here, through this input section right here, to provide 500 watts of power. And I have it connected under the bed right there. It comes all the way to the front, and I'll show you where we connect it. And this is the power cord. Comes all the way. This is an extension cord. I have connected it to the charger, and comes all the way from the back to plug into this outlet right here. That outlet continues to the back of the inverter, so we can charge this when the car is running. This is the inverter right here. Turn it on from here. It goes all the way, electricity goes all the way to the back to charge the Bluetii. So how do we use this backup Bluetii? We only use it when the primary one at the front is not working or it ran out of power. So the main way to use it would be to turn on the inverter here, on, and through an extension cord it brings the electricity all the way to the front. Here. This is where the electricity comes, onto this gray power cord. We can also plug in the charger of the primary Bluetii when the primary Bluetii runs out of power, which is this one. Then we can charge it using this brick charger, and we do this. And we do this by connecting the brick charger right here onto the power from the Bluetii. So now we have the backup Bluetii charging primary Bluetii. This is our primary Bluetii at about 395 watts per hour. Again, we would only do this when this Bluetii runs out of power and it becomes useless. So you need to charge it up. So now I'm gonna unplug the charger as you can see, charging goes, all right, it's got a 9, so now it's not charging from the charger. The other way we charge the backup, apart from the battery from the transit, we can use solar power right here and charge it. So for that we have 3 of these foldable flexible solar power panels, that we connect in series. This flexible solar panel comes with some extensions. We connect 3 of these in series. Each one of these solar panels is 120 watts, and we will set up this. Up. And you can point it to the sun, any direction, you get the maximum power. Pretty much while the sun is out, you can get maximum power, but just tilting and turning it to follow the sun. These are 120 watts each, but when the best you can get out of them is 80 watts. 80 watts of power at best. So connecting 3 of those, you get about 240 watts of power, which will take approximately 8 hours, 7-8 hours to charge the Bluetii. These were about $350 each. Bought them during Prime Day on sale. Haven't used them that much. You have to stay at a place for a long time to fully charge the Bluetii using just these. So I'm using the maximum 3 of these, and the Bluetii will take maybe 7 hours to fully charge. Charging from the van, when the van is on, we start by turning off the auto start. So currently the Bluetii is not charging. It's only charging from the sun, getting 156 watts, but it's not charging from the brick. This is the brick, the wall charger, 0. So to start charging, we turn on the inverter right here. Inverter's on. This is our blue light that comes on whenever we turn on the inverter. We'll have it connected through here. It's a reminder that the inverter is on, pulling power. And this is our connection to the inverter, from the inverter all the way to the brick, the wall charger. Now you can see that while the car is running, the Bluetii is charging at 400 watts from the wall and 166 watts from the solar panels.
Indian Riverside Park in Jensen Beach.
Jensen Beach. And we thought we'll make a video explaining how we use our 2 Bluetii solar power generators. We'll have 2 because we need one as a primary that runs everything, and we have a backup to ensure that we always have power. The problem is the Bluetii sometimes does not last through the night, or we can't charge it enough. In any way, at some point we run out of power and we need another power supply to support it.
If it's rainy days and we have no sun.
If it's rainy days, we have no sun, the solar power is not being generated. So why did we choose to a solar, all-in-one solar power generator. It's a lot more convenient than having separate components: battery, inverter, solar charger, fuses, and having to connect them all, test them. Everything is incorporated in the solar power generator. You don't. It's just a box. You can put it anywhere. But if you have, and you can change your mind of the placement. It's very easy to move from one place to a different place in the van. Try different locations, whatever works for you. But if you had the gone with the setup of separate batteries, inverter, then you're set. You've set it once, and it's not that easy to move around to the van. Also, the solar power generator, because it's a single unit, takes a lot less space in the van. And the garage part of our van has a lot less room, since the van is smaller also. And you can move it anywhere. And that was the primary reason we went with a solar power generator. We were looking for something that has a bit of power, because we wanted to use electricity for cooking. We don't have a gas stove or any other way to cook. We only use electricity, and we needed an inverter that's strong enough to power the electric cooking element. So 2000 watt inverter was a good choice. And in terms of price, also it is cheaper to purchase a Bluetii that comes with all components and 2000 watts of power, as opposed to purchasing the components separately. To put it in perspective, just getting two for the price of two 100 amp hour bottle-borne batteries, you can buy the Bluetii that has 200 amps, and it comes with inverter, charger, everything. It's the same price. So price-wise, the single unit is a better choice. Now, the drawbacks that we found, this very obvious drawback: if something goes wrong with the unit, then pretty much you have to replace the whole thing. Anything goes wrong, the whole unit needs to be replaced. That's a major drawback. And we went with a Bluetii because, as opposed to a different solar power generator, because it seemed to be good. It seemed to fit our requirement. It had good reviews we checked the reviews on YouTube. It had very good reviews when we purchased it. But that's another thing. Don't trust the reviews on YouTube. Very good reviews, but the Bluetii is not a good system, as we found out, as we've experienced. One of the major issue that we have experienced is that after a while, the BMS gets confused, and you end up with situations where it doesn't charge from solar anymore, even though the battery is only 10% full. It will show it's 100%, and it will not charge anymore. So that's a pretty major drawback. And nobody in YouTube, or from those YouTube reviewers, mentioned that, but having experienced that problem and then started searching, I found out that was a widespread problem. A lot of people were complaining. So all these YouTube so-called reviewers, I won't trust them anymore. said, just plug it on the wall using the brick charger, and that will fix the problem, which is partially true. It does fix the problem. It will charge fully to 100%, but then you move it back to the van, and in a couple of days you end up with the same problem because you're only charging it through solar. So whenever you charge it through solar, the BMS gets confused and you end up having batteries that are almost empty and not charging because the BMS thinks they're full. So you have to take it back to the house again, charge it from the wall, set it back to 100%, and then you start all over again. This is an endless cycle, and it's not really practical. When we purchased the Bluetii, it had a two-year warranty. We discovered this problem after our first trip. After having emailed Bluetii, letting them know that the solution they provided didn't actually work and it had to be redone every few days, I did not get any reply back. I emailed them an additional couple of times and still no reply from Bluetii. It seems once they realized there was no solution to the problem other than replacing the unit, they decided they wouldn't honor the warranty anymore. And that's one of the major reasons I would never buy anything built from Bluetii again, because from the looks of it, none of it has any real warranty. We purchased those two units in 2021, and we've been using them ever since when we go on our trips. We've taken on about 11 months worth of trips. We've been out on the road for 11 months. So the units have been used for half of that period, roughly 11 months out of 2.5 years. When we purchased the units, we thought that solar power would have been enough to charge it, and that turned out to be a false hope. It was nowhere close to providing enough power for us. So at the same time, we didn't want to connect it to the car. Plus, there was no way to have a DC to DC connection from the car to the Bluetii unit. The only available option for a DC to DC was from the 12-volt plug on the car, which would power the unit with about 80 watts per hour. That would take a good 24 hours to fully charge the battery from the car battery. So that was, we tried that for a while, but that was nowhere close to being enough. To solve that, we decided to buy the flexible Bluetii solar panels, and we bought the recommended 3 solar panels, which supposedly would charge the Bluetii within 4 hours. That also turned out to be quite false. It takes a lot longer than 4 hours to charge the Bluetii using those 3 panels. And the issue with it also is that you have to be stationary somewhere for that time, and also taking time to check the panels, turn them to the sun at the right angle in order to get the maximum power. So we tried that for a while. Also, that turned out to be not useful once you had a couple of days of dark clouds and cloudy skies. So that also was not the right solution. Our next solution was to purchase an inverter, connect it to the battery of the Transit, and use it while traveling. The inverter would be used as, if it's a wall plug, it will act as a wall plug for the Bluetii, which means it will solve our main problem, which is the BMS on the Bluetii gets lost. So even though you have solar power, the batteries don't charge because the BMS is confused. So this would reset the BMS and ensure that the Bluetii gets enough charge to allow for daily use. Some of the things that we like about the Bluetii is the fact that once it has power, it's a really good unit to use for powering up the van, charging the computers, all of the batteries. It's good because especially during the daytime, it converts the solar power directly. It's using the solar directly into charging whatever unit you have plugged in. So even if the BMS is lost, it's confused, as long as you're charging something, that power goes from the sun to the unit that you're trying to charge. Also the inverter, which is a 2000 watt inverter, is very good. We've never had any problem with it. It seems to handle anything. My final thoughts on the unit. Would I buy this again? No, I would not buy that unit again. Definitely not the Bluetii, because as I found out, they don't honor the warranty. So once you purchase something from them, you're stuck. That's it. There's no way to return it, and there's no way to get your money back. Would I consider another solar power generator? Likely yes. I would have to do some research. This time we will not trust any of the YouTube reviewers and figure out which one would better serve this purpose and also have some warranty that they can honor in case something goes wrong. Overall, for someone that wants to work out of a van, travel in a van, I think the solar power single unit is a good choice. Takes very little space, easy to move around, and it does everything you could possibly need. If you have a Ford Transit and you have one of these units, then it's very easy to charge it to the inverter. The setup from Ford is very convenient and easy to use. You just have to make sure you remember when your inverter is on and ensure that it's turned off once the car
Thanks for
is
watching.
not running anymore. Otherwise, you're gonna run out of power on your main battery of the Transit.